Ram Gopal is without doubt one of the finest dancers of the 20th century. Now living in Venice, he regularly visits the island cemetery there to pay tribute to another great figure of the dance world, Serge Diaghilev.
There's a little temple, it still exists in the wilds of Mysore state, not far from Mysore, between Bangalore and Mysore, called Bhupan Gaudapur in Mysore state. And once we went there for a temple ceremony, I must have been under 11. And I heard these gigantic booming drums from some miles away at a guest house where we were. And I said, what's going on there? Why are the drums so insistent, so powerful, like peals of thunder? And my host said to me, well, there's going to be a tremendous harvest Thanksgiving festival. And I went with them subsequently, and this little temple, and these enormous drums. Can you imagine the sound it made? It just coursed through my veins, and my feet itched. I felt I was standing on hot coals of fire during the performance that evening. I just tore my coat off and just went into a wild abandon, that kind of intoxicated frenzy and possession. As I say, it was a possession. If you ask me where did I get possessed first, I said my feet would catch fire. I'd feel my solar plexus going around like a fast-moving electric fan, and then spread through the forehead to the feet and the hands. And I just absolutely abandoned myself. Because I think really in dancing, you have to get possessed. You get so hypnotized, so possessed, that your possession then communicates itself to those who watch you. My father was a very well-known lawyer, and he thought that I'd follow through and become a lawyer like him. My mother was Burmese, and my mother never said no, and she never said don't. She said, you have to just be. Well, whenever I started to rehearse or dance in the huge big central hall of the house, the old colonial house where I was born, my mother never said, oh, you're making a noise. She was never disapproving.
But father, I was up against a stone wall. His son take to dancing, that ignoble and vile art that had so fallen from its original pedestal and purity, which only temple prostitutes danced and offered other services with their body not strictly confined to the art of Hindu Natya. Unthinkable.
The principal of the big college in Cochin, in Kerala, told me that if he or his sisters or brother had even looked at the Devadasis, temple dancers, male or female. You have their hands tied up behind their backs, and the father used to thrash the life out of them, never to look upon what they call a degrading sight of the temple dancers, because they'd fallen so low. They had put their great beauty and their wonderful bodies, naturally trained in the dance, to other uses than dancing. They became very famous courtiers, and I knew vaguely about them because I'd seen them dance myself. I thought they were the most bewitchingly, the use of the eyes and the smiles and the looks which they use with their expressions, and relating the stories of Krishna and Shiva in the repertoire of the Bharatanatyam dancers. I thought that they were really devilishly attractive, but that didn't worry me. And when some of the dancers I'd seen in Mysore, I'd ask them, where did you learn these steps? How can I learn these? Then they gave me the names of some of the, what we call in India, the gurus. And I'd go back and always tell my mother, and my mother tell my father. And that's how I first went down to Kerala in Malabar, which is an overnight journey, and studied at a school of poet Valathol's Kathakali school. Katha means story, and Kali means play. Kathakali means a story play, a danced drama. And it's a very, very difficult technique. You have to be massaged, you have to elaborate when you're very, very young to get the suppleness of your back and your bones, to do all those very fluid and very often very, very virile, very powerful movements. And one couldn't do these movements as fluently unless your body was trained and your bones were made supple enough and strong enough with the kind of exercises that, well, what they do in classical European ballet. You have to first train your body at the bar to get the strength and the right plies, the right development, and then gradually built up over the weeks, over the months, over the years. And that's how it was with the Indian dance. The massaging that we had, which is an integral part of the Kathakali dancing, which pertains to this very day, gave us the oil, this elaborate oil which covered your entire body with a little loincloth around your waist. And we were massaged by the asan, the master, who massaged you with his feet. So you had to lie on a kind of a wicker carpet, and this man held two kind of suspended poles to give him his balance, and with his right foot he massaged you, as they do to this very day. He massaged you with the feet. And when I said, why do you have to use your dirty feet? There's nothing dirty about the feet, are very clean, but we get more pressure and there's a wider area to get the muscular pull and toning up of the muscles necessary for the dance.